unfortunately, my dad took ill this year.
Yeah.
After a diagnosis of being in remission with bladder cancer, and unfortunately it had spread, and it spread quite rapidly, and he was too frail to take treatment. So very quickly, that impact of the fact that we were told it would be quite soon, we had that period of, a very quick period of adjustment.
Yeah.
And I think we all went into a tailspin of what to do, wanting to care for him at home, not sure who to call. They're from that generation of we don't like to bother the doctor. Where can you've got to go in? And Macmillan come in, and you don't feel like a patient on a waiting list. You don't feel like you're a hassle.
Yeah.
And they make sense of a process that you're going through that I think you always think you're prepared for, but you're not.
No.
And it's almost like, it sounds like, it's like a band arguing. You all want the same thing, do you know what I mean? But you can kind of forget how to communicate as a family.
Yeah.
And one person comes in and almost goes, you're not listening to your mum. The reason your mum's saying this is because she's worried about that. She's also worried about you. The reason your dad might not be communicating is because he's worrying and trying to make out that things are fine.
Yeah.
Things like, and apparently it's common, until you find out it's common, that when they get very poorly, they swap days for nights.
Okay.
So he was sleeping in the day and active all night. My mum was desperate to keep him at home, and at one point, we weren't able to provide that care. But it was a Macmillan nurse that had a chat with my mum about going, the right thing now is to take him to a hospice, and he got the care. And eventually, you know, we were also grateful for what Willowbrook did for my dad, but we needed somebody to come in, and just in a very short space of time, I think we all had a bucket list of, we're going to do this and we're going to do that, and we'll do all this. We took him to a St Helens match, and we could see at the match that he was just too tired, and he really wanted just to be at home.
Yeah.
But, and the teacher's almost, it's not what you want for him.
Yeah.
It's what he needs. And they put all of that into a beautiful perspective.
Yeah.
And help you
it,
accept the the unacceptable.
How have you dealt with it?
It's very strange, this. I don't, you know what I mean? I don't normally come on to...
Well, my dad passed away in February.
I haven't dealt with it,
let you know.
I'll be honest. I don't think I've mourned yet. I think I had an idea of what mourning was. I haven't... I keep saying to friends, I haven't had the cry yet. If I'm really honest, I think I'm angry with him for going as quickly as he did. I don't accept his death. I feel guilty that I don't think about him on a daily basis, but it's only because I don't want to accept that he's gone. So, in my head, I thought I'd have 2 weeks, you know, a bad 2 weeks, and then things would go back to normal. It doesn't, because he was such a fundamental part of our lives, and I have friends who lost their fathers earlier than us. We had a very lucky period of about 20 years without losing anyone. And I think you get into a frame of mind of they're going to be around forever.
Yeah.
And then when it happens, you just go, there's a gap that you can't fill. So you fill it with work and you do other things and you get on.
You still sound so, obviously, so emotional. Are Macmillan still there for you and your family now?
They're always there if you need them. Again, everybody's approach to mourning is personal. There's opinions. I've taught people through, you know, losing people. But you do think that you have an answer to it, when actually it's just a process that you have to accept, and no matter how long it takes, when it happens, it happens. I had a friend that lost his father quite close to mine, and he said, it's like, it's something on a shelf in the shed. It'll fall off eventually, and I'll have to deal with it, but for now, almost, I can't use it as an excuse to not get on with life.
Yeah, and everybody deals with things in different ways.
You can't feel guilty for getting on with life. You have to, and especially with children, you know, and other elements.
Well, that's the thing, Johnny, you're a dad.
Yeah.
You know, and you have to keep being a dad, and you have to keep being a husband and a partner and a friend, and, you know, I said to you, I lost my dad in February, so I kind of really relate to what you're saying, and, you know, I don't know. I mean, what is it?
I think, don't you have to think about you have to live your life the way they would want you to live. He wouldn't want you to be in the depths of despair all the time or wandering around like a lost soul. He'd want you to get your act together in the end, wouldn't he?
In the hospice, and it sounds, again, how people interpret it, he's the only man I knew who went to the doctors and came out with a prescription for rum.
For rum?
For rum. And he claimed it was this particular rum, and the doctor said he should have a glass every day.
Great.
But we had to import it.
But
But it was their version of, like, in America they sell it, so we had to get a shed load of it. We took a bottle to the hospice. He had it in his hand. At one point, the doctor was trying to, do you know what I mean, care for him.
Yeah.
Couldn't get the bottle out of his hand. And you know when somebody goes, out of my cold, dead hands. It was... And when he passed, we all went into the next room, and we all had a little tot, and you'll get... And we all just shared our favourite story about him. And at that point, you're going, if we don't remember the good bits, it was all for nothing.
Yes.